was he in school?
You answer.
Not great. I mean, I'm not going to deny it. No, my teachers would always say that I wasn't fully applying myself in school.
Yeah.
And that's what they always say.
Yeah, that was probably my fault. Partly my fault.
Why you say that?
Well, I should have helped him along with applying himself.
Did you?
I did it in his racing brutally. I should have done it in school.
If you had applied that to school, I would have been a dang honor student.
Why
sure.
do you say? Why do you say that you were? You say you pushed him brutally in racing. What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Learning's hard. Learning's not easy. And I saw a lot of kids and their parents racing. We started in quarter midgets, bandoleros, legend cars. We ran them all and ran two different things probably most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Legend cars and
quarter
midgets, bandoleros and quarter midgets.
Yeah.
Late models and something else.
Yeah, I think the first year I ran late models, we were still running quarter midgets.
Yeah.
Because we loved the quarter midget stuff so much. And
But we go practice and test and even through races, and all I can do is explain the basics. That's all you can do to get them started. Well, then all you can do is correct mistakes quickly to not keep repeating them and get in the right habits. And sometimes that was hard.
I mean, did you get impatient? I mean, like if you have 0 to Logano's old man.
Oh, I don't know.
Where are you in?
Well,
here?
I don't know that scale. I don't know, Mr. Logano.
Brian.
What do you mean? Yeah, Ryan.
he wasn't mean, but there was a decent amount of stern talking tos for sure. And I would I look back on that.
Dave being that.
I can't either.
I mean, I look back on that and I prefer that.
Sure.
If you sugarcoat
Honesty.
stuff, I feel like it doesn't quite get through if you're babying somebody or sugarcoating them. I would rather tell me right away what I'm messing up on and do it in a way to where it's really going to make me think about it so I don't do it again. So I liked it, that time you might not realize it, but looking back on it, you're like, man, I'm happy.
The better way.
I think it's good to really, get the point across.
Your dad explained how he was emotionally about trying to race, getting out of the go-kart into the sprint car. He wasn't badgering his dad hardcore. It just kind of happened naturally. Are you poking at him? Hey, man, how do I get into something? How do I do something?
I don't know. I think as I just kind of got older, we just kind of took the different steps,
how did y'all have that first conversation of, do you want to do this? Do you want to try this?
I asked him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I remember asking him.
I remember we had multiple conversations whenever we would, about get ready to run a new car. He would always ask me, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to race? I don't want to push you into anything. And, I always said yes, So, yeah, I think that was your idea of now it's time for a legend car. Now it's time for late models and things like that. So.
What's you're talking about running a lot of different stuff and a lot of different cars. Which one do you miss the most?
Oh man, I loved the quarter midget stuff. That was so much fun. All the different classes. A lot of talented kids in the quarter midget stuff, especially back when I was running. There was so many cars. You go to the Grands, right? That's like their Daytona 500, and it could be wherever, Huntsville, Alabama, wherever. And I mean, how many cars you'd say would show up for a Grands race?
800.
Yeah, easily
800
cars. But there's 10 different classes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there's still might be 100 in your class and 10 make the main.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I missed that stuff. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To go run. And super late models. I love super late models too.
Really?
Yeah. I liked them.
I've never drove one.
You were a late model stock guy? Yeah. I loved the super late model stuff. We never did late model stocks. We were in that past series, and it was a really good series that ran, in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. And, it was a pretty solid, with a lot of good competition in it. And we ran that for many years, I think. And I miss those cars. They went some really, really great racetracks.
How did you help him in his career out? I mean, we talked about how you coached him a bit, but what were you doing to create these opportunities for him?
Well, I could create some, right, as far as I could afford to race him some. And the super late model thing we could do. And the only reason, I don't remember how it came about, but I think late model stock, you maybe had to be 18 to run a NASCAR event. In the supers, you could be 14. We had 14, we could take him and run against the best guys in the country anywhere. And so that looked like the way to do it. But
Who are some of the people that were helping you with him?
well, past the super late model, so we decided to get a K&N car, and we had friends of ours from Ohio, Jim Weller, and his son raced super late models as well up in Ohio, Pennsylvania. So we decided to go in on a K&N car. Both of them are going to drive it. Ryan's going to drive a little bit. Jimmy's going to drive a little bit. So that kind of morphed into the next year. Jimmy had his own team, and we kind of had our own, but we could only do 4 or 5 races. And then we got help, and he won one of those 4 or 5 at Phoenix in our own car.
Yeah, that K&N car, yeah, we'd only run the bigger tracks.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't go run the short tracks.
Where's that car sitting in when you're during the time you're racing it? Like, where is this car sitting?
It's
Is
in
it
Dad's
at the
shop.
house?
It's in my
Yeah?
shop.
Yeah.
Y'all did it all right there.
Well, we'd take it. It was an old Turner car.
Yeah.
And Trent Owen
Yeah, he
Oh,
crew
yeah.
chiefed it.
Trent,
Yeah,
he
so
crew cheated. He was awesome.
we'd
He
take
was
it. We'd take it to Turner and put on scales and stuff like that.
I tried to hire Trent one time. He wouldn't come work here. He's
He's
good.
He's a good
He's a
kid.
really good guy.
Awesome dude.
And well, then we had things kept getting better. You win in a K&N race.
Yeah, we went out in Phoenix, and then
I got an ARCA. I went actually paid Billy Venturini to put him in an ARCA car. And Billy, I think Billy approached me about it. He had seen him run and one that said, you should think about it. And okay. So we went to Winchester.
that was my first one.
Winchester, like new track record, crazy fast. He was.
Yeah. I think it was 250 lap race. I led like 230, and we blew a right front tire.
But I remember the practice day that I went to.
Yeah.
And Billy, they'd run so much. They're like, okay, here's what we should start at for race speeds, and here if we do a mock-up run, here's what we should run. And so your first laps on the track were way below the mock-up run speed he was thinking you'd run.
Yeah.
So I'm like, stop him before it gets out of hand here.
Yeah.
And fast.
Man, the ARCA stuff, that ticks me off, man, because I ran we ran some races for Billy.
Yeah.
We ran Winchester. I think we ran IRP one year with him, yeah. And Jonathan Davis was crew chief in it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Wait, Jonathan Davis?
Jonathan
Davis.
In the shop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was crew chief in it.
So you were
for
on
us.
your own, huh?
That's why we lost the race. For sure.
Turn the speakers on out there.
Yeah. Where you at? I think those are the only 2 we ran for Venturini. And then I ran for Cunningham a little bit the next year because we were with Penske. Or maybe it was a couple years after that we ran Cunningham. But I ran like 7 ARCA races and 0 for 7, but should have won 6 of them. So that kind of makes me mad.
Yeah.
We never won an ARCA
Well,
race.
It's funny too. I mean, you just won Atlanta in a cup car, and you like can't let go of those.
Yeah.
You just
The ones
can't.
you- the ones you
oh,
lose?
Man, no. You just
Yeah.
they bother you worse than you enjoy the ones you win.
Yeah. And like dominating these ARCA races, and just something stupid happens. I blame Jonathan for one of them.
That's a good place to place it. That's good. I'm curious, though. Ryan, at what point did you think you could make a career out of it? And I'm wondering if you had a moment where you thought he had the it factor.
Definitely wasn't early. Like, as a teenager, 13, 14, running late models, you don't think that. You're just trying to do the best you can. And I probably didn't think I could make a career out of it until, really we started running good, like ran in the ARC stuff and the K&N stuff. Running the NASCAR tracks that the Cup guys run on, running pretty good. I was like, man, we're running good. And then when I got with Penske, I was like, wow, we must be doing something halfway right. But then still, you got to keep running well, right? You
No,
can't
of
just-
course. But like I remember when Dale Jr. Even at DEI, they didn't even give him the opportunity to run that 98. The year that he won the championship, I don't think you knew that you were in that car until like a week before. And so,
Well, you walked in the shop and they had your
and
name
saw
on
his
the
name.
car,
I mean, like
right? Yeah.
So like he certainly at that point wasn't thinking about a career. I mean, like so. Obviously, you got to make it, but you're saying at this point, when you get the Penske ride, like, okay, maybe this really can happen.
Mm-hmm.
When did you think that he had the potential to make it happen?
I was way before that.
Was it?
I can tell you the night.
Okay, let's hear it.
It was at Orange County.
Oh, and our
Super late.
ASA start?
Your first super late model start.
Oh, yeah.
He was 14.
Yeah.
He looked 10. And we tested at Orange
Hickory.
County, or Hickory, and we'd
Yeah.
run really good. So we show up. He shows up, qualifies in the middle of the field, and I remember driver introductions. I was standing around with you, and other drivers are looking at me like I'm a criminal. Got this little 10-year-old looking kid in his car. Like, what are you doing?
Dad of the year.
And they throw I'm on top of my trailer. Kyle Busch has got his late model team there. His dad, Tom, come over and stood on top of my trailer. We stand on top of my trailer. And he goes from about 14th, 16th to 4th in about 40 laps at Orange County, up the hill, driving under him, around him. I mean, like, we're standing there like, is Kyle Busch driving this car? He's 14, first race. I mean, I knew right there he had it. You don't know if it's going to get you there, but
Right.
holy crap.
Yeah,
that was the night.
We had battery trouble. Didn't even finish. We're running third. I thought we were running third.
That 40 laps was enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But-
The one race that I remember, and probably the first time I saw Ryan race, was at Richmond in
Yeah.
2012.
2012.
And Tommy Baldwin's
Tommy
car.
Baldwin's
Yeah.
car. So Tommy had a Busch car, and a lot of respect to Tommy, but his cars, weren't exactly front running race cars. And you drove the car in the top 10.
Yeah, we ended up running 7th that night.
Yep. And I think I remember talking to you a little bit and just briefly getting a sense of sort of the urgency of where he was in his career, and it was I got the impression that was that y'all worked really hard to put just that little deal together and didn't know what was going to happen next,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, we had good friends in, the Seal Wrap came on, Jeff Welch, Kurt Wilson, out
Yep.
of Indianapolis. Saw Ryan race a late model and started helping a little bit. And then he ran really good in the ARCA car. And then they had the ARCA car at IRP. It
Yeah,
was
they
a
were on
full
the
Seal
car.
Wrap car.
Yep.
So between those guys and me and a couple other friends, we put enough money together to run 5 Busch races,
How did
Xfinity
you know?
races.
How did you know Tommy?
I knew Tommy well.
At the time, you were driving for a Cup car for him.
Yeah, but I met him at Bill Davis's. I guess when I first showed up, he was at Bill's.
He was?
And yeah, and I knew of him before that when
Yeah.
him and his dad ran modifieds, but I don't think I'd ever met him until I got to.
So how did the conversation start?
Well, we were just looking. We got some money raised to go get it. So I actually called Gil Martin at RCR and bought a car from him. I said, I need your best car because Gil was my first crew chief in the Busch Series.
Yep.
So I need the best car you can let go for Ryan. So we rented an engine over there. We got one car, one engine, and Tommy agreed to take care of it, bring it to the track, do the whole thing. So show up and run. In the long run, he was so
Really
fast
fast.
that night. I think he could have won if it
Yeah.
played out right. But
Yeah.
but really, I think he raced back then. I know Brad was racing, Hamlin was racing, Casey Kane was racing.
Yeah.
Everybody was racing. that
it's-
night.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And,
a full field.
I don't know if you'll explain it this way, but he got hired by Penske after that race.
Really?
Won his first Busch race.
So wait. Okay.
Yeah, so
Won
go
the
ahead,
race.
Dale.
So you run. I remember that night. You run the race, and you win. What do you mean that night?
Well, they started talking to you after that.
Yeah.
At the track, or
No.
call
No.
you up on the phone, or
No.
No, we
how old are you,
I
Ryan?
forget, I'm 27.
Then.
So then 2012, I was
This is where the schooling comes in, right?
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 19 when we made those starts.
And they're calling you.
I did not. I don't remember if I got a call. Like RP didn't call me.
Right.
Well,
I think it was Tim Cindric or Mike Nelson.
I had talked to Mike Nelson before that about it because at that point they had Parker Klingerman and they might have had a couple other guys doing some testing and a little bit of running.
Yeah.
So I talked to those guys about considering you and told them what you'd done. But then after that race, they got back with me.
Yeah.
And I know Kentucky was the next race you ran.
Yeah, we ran. No, we ran. We ran
yeah.
Darlington, and I wrecked about lap 1.5. And I was like, "Oh my god, my career's over, done."
For real.
Hero 1 week, and then I can't show my face anymore.
For real. Like that's exactly the way you're feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause there was all the, oh man, I'm so good. Ran 7th, I'm so good. Oh, we're going to Darlington. It's nothing.
Whose car
And
was that?
That was the same car.
Okay.
Killed it.
That was the end of that
Did
car.
the tank slapper off too and destroyed the fence. And lap 1.5. I was like, well, I'm done. This is fun, and I'm gonna go back running late models. And then, but we still had some more starts, and I was just mad we wrecked that car because it was
the car.
it was a really good car. And then I think the next one was Kentucky, and we ran 7th there too. We ran 7th or 8th at Kentucky. Ran pretty good.
The thing I remember about it was them telling you they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Penske
Well, I
telling
remember talking to Brad after that race because Brad was running too, and I had dinner with Brad and the guy who was running his truck team at the time, Wayne Sederington, that week. And, Parker Kligerman was driving for him, for their truck and Penske's Xfinity car. And I guess it wasn't working out, the way they wanted to. And they were kind of looking for a driver and just, got really fortunate it lined up and the timing was correct. So Brad was a big part of getting me in there too,
Really?
talking to Brad. And then
I'm saying Brad probably pushed the whole
Yeah.
thing. I'm certain Brad was the main part of him getting a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Still a teammate. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. You
Yeah.
guys, did you know Brad pretty well, or are you meeting these guys sort of for the first time?
The first time I talked to Brad was after that Kentucky race. He come up to me walking back
Okay.
to the pits.
The reason I ask is Brad always has some unique first impression on people,
Yeah,
and you never know which way it's going to go.
I got a good first impression of him.
What was it?
It was during the days that we did the tandem drafting at Talladega. So I was in Baldwin's car, and he calls me during the week. He said, "We need to talk about running together." I'm like, the heck you want to run together with me for? And we show up at Talladega. He called me, "Hey, come over to my motorhome." And he's got all this film ready of guys drafting and pushing and situations. I'm like, holy this guy is on it. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then during the race, we did it all day, and I think we finished 3rd and 4th doing it. And they were in the middle of the chase, and it was a big day for Brad and that team to finish a race at Talladega and finish good. So it was incredible. He was really good during the race. It was perfect. It was the coolest experience the whole weekend.